I want to thank you, Melissa, and for the other stories that we're hearing here, all of the Reach families who are sharing their own particular story, the courage behind their story. Thank you for that. And you remind us all of the power of this ministry to help those who are rising above HIV with hope and rising above the rejection that you can feel and finding that enduring hope that we long for you to experience and certainly to flourish in life. My name is Pastor Aaron Stewart. I'm from University Place Presbyterian Church, and this ministry means a lot to me. And I'll tell you just personally that part of our family story, my story, involves a dear uncle of mine who was infected with this strange disease called HIV/AIDS in the 1980s. And I remember as a little boy going to church and our whole family being very aware of the snickering and the silent whispering that we could tell was happening. We didn't quite know what it was about because our uncle was there at church with us. And even at a young age as a kid, there was something in me that broke, and it bothered me that my uncle, who I dearly loved, was being treated as less than human. In fact, he wasn't even welcome in the very places he should have been welcomed. And so this ministry means a lot to me because it is healing a bit of even the wound in our family story. It is a ministry that is giving worth and dignity and value to so many people who feel like they don't get treated like everyone else does because of HIV. And so I trust that you share the importance of this ministry along with me and so many others who are partners with Reach. Our church partners with Reach because we believe in it. We believe it's an important embodiment of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so today I have a job to do, and that is to ask you to partner in supporting this ministry and to join with many others who are making this ministry happen to children and to their families. As we live into the 25th anniversary of this ministry, it's only possible because of people like you that are willing to sacrifice and give extravagantly and faithfully and obediently to this important ministry. And we want it to continue for many, many years to come in our community. So my job today is to ask for financial support. Every single ministry like this thrives and runs off of the support of those who believe in it and are willing to sacrifice for it. And we're not going to be given to a special building project or to a piece of equipment. We're going to give to the most important part of this ministry, and that is the operations of this ministry to kids and their families. And together, let's fill the gap that Dan mentioned earlier, the $94,000 gap that we need to work together to build and to reach, and that he's talked to us about. So let's give generously. I'm inviting you today to be a part of what we're calling a Circle of Hope Society. And for those of you who are early members in this initiative and are part of the Circle of Hope Society, there's a special blue button just below that will help you to increase or extend your 5-year pledge. But we can't just have 1-year pledges. We got to have 5-year pledges that walk with kids and their families over the long haul. And so I want to give a quick roadmap for how this is going to work, how we can support the work of this ministry this year and beyond. You can refer to the chart, the pledge chart just below this video link, and click on the red pledge or donate button now to follow along. I want to talk to you about 4 options that are before us. The first Circle of Hope package or pledge level is $1,000 a year for 5 years. $1,000 a year for 5 years. We call it the Flourishing Child level. And $1,000, if you can believe this, $1,000 over the course of 1 year can provide all of the support for a full year for one child. That means all of the mentoring, the Labor Day camp that we hear so much about, the spring retreat, the home visits, the weekly work, daily work that our staff team does, the Thinking of You cards, the other community gathering events like the summer picnic and the holiday parties. Dan mentioned Marcus in one of the stories earlier in his remarks. This has been a life-changing experience with Reach as he grew up. And so when you support a child, you support someone like Marcus. So if you consider a gift at this level, which is an average, if you can believe this, it's just an average of a little over $80 a month, we can change the life of a kid. Okay. So that's the first option when you click on that button. Just look for the $84 a month option, or the full installment can just be $1,000. That's for one child. Okay. The second option is the second level, a Circle of Hope level, is $2,500 a year. This is what we call our Flourishing Family Pledge level. And it provides all the support that I just mentioned for a child, but includes the entire family. And we all know that you can't just pull one child out of a family and think that it's settled. It's really care and ministry to the whole family, the entire family, just like the families that you've met in the previous videos. And as you've heard, and even as I experienced myself in my own childhood with my own uncle, is that the malicious judgments that come with HIV, the rejection and the isolation, that comes to the whole family, not just to the individual. And it affects everyone. And so if you consider a gift of $2,500 each year for 5 years, we're making a pledge here for the long haul, you'll allow us and this ministry to embrace one new family this year who needs our unconditional love and acceptance and needs the safe community that Reach can provide. On the pledge form, you just choose the $2,500 option, which is the family pledge. Okay. The third option is our Flourishing Community level of $5,000 a year. Again, this is for 5 years. We're asking that you would engage in this if you have the resources. This provides all of Reach's year-round support for 2 of the new families that Dan told us about. And as we successfully welcome in these new families, we need more resources. And if you consider a gift of $5,000 each year for 5 years, we can walk with a family over that long haul, and you'll allow this ministry of Reach and allow us to sustain the success of this outreach initiative. On the pledge form, you can choose just the monthly installment for that level, the Flourishing Community level of support. And then lastly, this has to be said because a lot of us have connections and we have relationships with foundations or companies. You may be in a position to give more. And may I be so bold as to say, many of us have the ability to reach out to a foundation or a company and ask to support, or maybe you can do that yourself now, what we call the Flourishing Pacific Northwest, the greater region, which lets you have a far-ranging, life-changing impact on many families. And if you consider a gift of $10,000 a year for 5 years, oh, the difference we could make. And it would make it possible for up to 15 children, teens, and young adults to rise above the debilitating stigma of HIV and truly thrive with dignity and worth. Thank you so much for whatever level you can come in at. And of course, if you want to choose the other tab for any amount, for any number of years, we welcome all gifts, and all of it helps and is welcome towards the needs and the resources of this ministry to make a huge difference for Reach children and families. Finally, you may have other ideas to support this ministry. We welcome it all. If you have ideas that you'd like to contribute or ways to contribute, just click the button that says, please contact me, and someone from Reach will offer to give you a call and reach out. On behalf of everyone at Reach, on behalf of all those who partner with Reach, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making this ministry happen. Your gifts matter so much. Thank you for joining in the Circle of Hope that we all endeavor to be a part of. Let's make a difference for Reach Ministries and for our region.